One YouTube sensation with 4 million subscribers. One NASCAR Hall of Famer who walked away from the sport a decade ago. 2 crashes. And the most watched NASCAR Truck Series race in nearly 10 years. The Fresh from Florida 250 at Daytona on February 13th was one of those rare nights where the sport transcends itself, where the story off the track was bigger than anything that happened on it, and where the numbers that came in afterward forced even the most stubborn NASCAR traditionalists to ask a question they had been avoiding. Should the Truck Series be doing this more often? If NASCAR runs through your veins, hit subscribe. We cover every race, every rivalry, and every moment that matters. Let's start with Cleetus McFarland, real name Garrett Mitchell, because his story heading into Daytona is genuinely worth understanding. This is a 30-year-old kid from the YouTube world who built an audience of over 4.6 million subscribers by doing exactly what his fans love, going fast, building cars, and never taking himself too seriously. He started his YouTube channel in 2009, created the Cleetus McFarland persona in 2015, and spent the next decade building one of the most genuinely passionate motorsport communities on the internet, one that is overwhelmingly young, overwhelmingly casual, and almost entirely disconnected from the traditional NASCAR audience. When he made his ARCA Menards Series debut in 2025, stepping into professional stock car racing for the first time, people paid attention. He made 4 ARCA starts, scored a career-best 9th at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and proved that whatever he is not just a content creator playing dress-up in a race car, he is a competitor. And when Nice Motorsports came calling for the Truck Series opener at Daytona, he grabbed it with both hands. This is my first time in the series, so I know it's going to push me way outside my comfort zone, and that's what makes it so exciting, he said before the race. We're going to go have some fun and see what this thing can do. He also arrived at Daytona carrying a weight that nobody outside his community fully understood. His mentor, former NASCAR driver Greg Biffle, had passed away in a tragic plane crash in the months before the race. Biffle had been the man who guided McFarland through his ARCA debut at Daytona the previous year, sitting him down and explaining the draft, the super speedway, the dangers. When McFarland spoke at Biffle's gathering of remembrance, he emphasized the motto, "Be like Biff," and that motivation was sitting right there underneath everything he did at Daytona. His dream, as he has stated clearly and publicly, is to one day race in the Daytona 500, not as a celebrity stunt, as a racing driver, and his Truck Series debut was his most concrete step toward that dream. He qualified 12th, a strong showing for a first-timer, and in the opening laps was running inside the top 10, mixing it with professional truck racers who've done this for years. And then 6 laps in, the number 4 Chevrolet got loose at the exit of turn 4. He had no room, no time. The truck slammed into the inside wall on the driver's side door, ripped through the infield grass, and came to a stop. McFarland was uninjured. He radioed immediately. "I'm all good. That was a hard knock, but I'm good." When the cameras found him afterward, he did not reach for excuses. Not even close. "Yeah, 100% my fault. Terrible mistake." Man, it's impressive those guys can run 3 wide for that long, and when that thing stepped out, I mean, you just have a couple feet on either side. I didn't even have the ability to gather it up, so I wrecked myself. He then rated the impact a 5 out of 10 and noted he had been in worse. That reaction, the immediate, unfiltered ownership of a mistake with a grin rather than a grievance, is exactly why 4 million people watch this man every week. He found redemption the very next day, competing in the ARCA race on Saturday, completing all the laps, fighting back from 1 lap down, and finishing 11th. His next planned start is the ARCA race at Talladega on April 25th, and whether he returns to the Truck Series after writing off one at Daytona, he was honest about, "I would like to, but I just wrecked it, so it's going to be tough." Now let's talk about Tony Stewart, because his presence at Daytona was the other half of a night that genuinely shook the sport. Stewart is 54 years old. He is a 3-time Cup Series champion. He has 62 NASCAR National Series wins on his resume. His last NASCAR race was in 2016, His last Truck Series race was in June 2005 at Dover, 21 years ago. He has spent recent years competing in NHRA Top Fuel drag racing, where he won Rookie of the Year in 2024 and the regular season title in 2025. Nobody, including his own wife Leah, saw this coming. She looked at me like I had 3 heads. Stewart laughed before the race. So it took a little bit of convincing to convince her that I was serious about it. It was Ram Trucks CEO Tim Kuniskis who made it happen, calling Stewart as part of Ram's long-awaited return to NASCAR after Descas. A 14-year absence, pairing the brand's comeback with the most recognizable name they could find. And Stewart, who prepared by running Daytona truck races on iRacing with a group of online friends he races with regularly, arrived at Daytona wearing his emotions on his sleeve. "We thought we would never see this moment again," he said at his Thursday press conference. "And trust me, I'm as surprised as all of you are," he added simply. "I'm as surprised as all of you are." His race, in the no. 25 Cowlig Racing Ram ended at lap 39, not of his own doing, but when Jake Garcia's truck broke loose exiting turn 4 and slammed directly into Stewart's side, squeezing him into the outside wall. The truck was too damaged to continue. He walked away uninjured and was quickly cleared at the infield care center. But the most revealing moment of his entire evening came on the radio not during the crash, but just before it. As his crew chief, Alex Yonts, was working adjustments on the truck, and Stewart was starting to feel genuinely comfortable for the first time all night, he got on the radio and said something that every NASCAR fan who heard it smiled at. "This is way more fun than what we did Thursday. I will admit that." That was Tony Stewart, NASCAR Hall of Famer. In his element, happy, alive, doing what he was built to do. And then, Garcia's truck came across his nose. His crew chief's message after parking the truck was equally telling. "Hopefully, you might want to do this again sometime." Stewart's response left the door wide open. "Yeah, I'd say there's a pretty good shot of that." He confirmed to Fox Sports that he has learned to never say never about NASCAR, and while he has been equally clear that nothing would drag him back to the Cup Series or the Daytona 500, more truck starts are very much on the table. "I think everybody that's on this call understands I didn't have the best relationship with NASCAR." He acknowledged a reference to the very public fallout following the Stewart-Haas racing closure and the text messages that emerged in the 23XI antitrust lawsuit suggesting NASCAR brass had wanted to undermine his SRX series. But still, at the end of the day, there were parts of the racing and people there that made it worthwhile. Now here is the number that makes this entire conversation about celebrity entries and grassroots crossovers impossible to dismiss. The Fresh from Florida 250 drew 1.387 million average viewers on FS1, a 37% jump over the previous year's opener, which drew 1.014 million. The peak audience hit 1.604 million viewers. Fox Sports confirmed it was the most watched NASCAR Truck Series race since 2016. Those numbers do not happen by accident. They happen when Tony Stewart is in a race car. They happen when Cleetus McFarland's 4 million YouTube subscribers tune in, many of them for the first time in their lives, to watch their guy attempt the biggest race of his career. Former NASCAR driver and Xfinity Series veteran Elliott Sadler captured exactly what drove those numbers when he responded to the Fox viewership announcement on social media with just 3 words and 4 exclamation marks. It's called Tony Stewart. And the broader figures told an even stronger story. NASCAR practice viewership on Friday was up 62%, qualifying was up 15%, and fan engagement across the entire Speed Weeks weekend trended upward in a way the sport had not seen in years. What do you think? Should NASCAR continue to bring in celebrities and social media personalities for Truck Series races, or does it compromise the integrity of the competition? Would you watch another Cleetus McFarland Truck Series start? And do you think he can eventually put together a clean race? And if Tony Stewart comes back for another truck race later this season, which track would you most want to see him at? Drop your predictions in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe for more NASCAR news. I'll catch you in the next one.